This would be a big step, obviously. I guess crypto would be out of the question, Senator.
Joe, you don't want me deciding where the money is put. I can promise you that. You know what I'm saying? I don't give financial advice. But we would have...
That was Senator Kennedy with a bipartisan solution for Social Security. Yes, Republicans and Democrats can work together to fix your Social Security. I'll play you that full video clip, let you know exactly what he's saying. Also, Social Security is changing under President Trump. Here's what retirees need to know. I'll let you know the latest changes, as one change is coming later this month that you may not like if you haven't heard about it already. And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Before I dive into the main content, if you appreciate the Social Security updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Social Security updates. So let's talk about this, the bipartisan effort underway to save Social Security for Americans. Keyword here, bipartisan, a Republican and a Democrat putting forth this plan to save your Social Security. What is this plan? What does it entail? I'm going to show you that video clip, and then right after that video clip, I'm going to show you how Social Security is changing under Trump and what retirees need to know. If you are in your retirement age collecting Social Security, you're going to want to know these changes, as one is happening within a few weeks. But here is the video of Senator Cassidy with his new bipartisan Social Security plan.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy and Democratic Senator Tim Kaine are hoping to help rescue Social Security. In a Washington Post op-ed this week, the senators proposed diversifying trust fund investments in order to maintain benefits. Senator Bill Cassidy joins us this morning. He chairs the Health Commission. Senator, this has been bandied about for years, I think. What's the current investment, just for people that aren't familiar? What's it invested in now? What's the current return, and what would the new idea hope to get, and what would it be in?
So the trust fund, the extra money that's in the Social Security Trust Fund, by the way, good morning, Joe, is invested in treasuries. And so some of those were issued a while ago, so they're bearing 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%. We are losing money on those treasuries right now. What we propose is a separate fund from the Social Security Trust Fund, in which we would put $1.5 trillion in it over 10 years, invest it in the U.S. economy, hold it in escrow for about 65 to 75 years, and then use that return to offset any unfunded accrued liability in the Social Security Trust Fund.
Okay, where do we get the 1.5 trillion?
Yeah, so the way the U.S. budget works, if we borrow $300 billion a year for 5 years and put it in the trust fund, and we hold it in escrow, it offsets the borrowing. So it doesn't contribute to the nation's indebtedness because you got the money. If you want to pay off the bills, you just kind of like dissolve the escrow account. And so it doesn't increase your debt or deficit. So we would borrow that money over 5 years, put it in this separate fund from Social Security Trust Fund, and bail out the fund. Because everybody should remember, Social Security is going insolvent, the trust fund, in 8 years. At that time, by law, benefits will be cut as much as 25%.
This has worked in the past, not at this scale, but it can be done. If there was a 10-year secular bear market, would it still work?
It absolutely would still work, because we keep it in the account for 70 years. And so if you look since 1929, the Great Depression, Great Financial Crisis, the 70s, we've had about an 8.54% annual return just in the stock market, not including other assets. And so we would go through those times. But by the way, we modeled this through the Great Financial Crisis. And the Great Financial Crisis, of course, it dips down, but within like a year, it's back up to where it was. The power of our economy is so great. Lastly, I will say, even if it only offsets 60% of our unfunded accrued liability, that's a lot better than we're doing now.
Any other assets that you would, this would be a big step, obviously. I guess crypto would be out of the question, Senator.
Joe, you don't want me deciding where the money is put. I can promise you that. You know what I'm saying? I don't give financial advice. But we would have patterned after the thrift savings plan, which the federal government already does, there would be an independent board of people, an arm's length away from Congress, with strict guardrails to keep the president and to keep Congress from messing with their investment decisions. There'd be an audit every year, and it would be posted online. And so the public would be able to watch where it's invested. You ain't going to see me doing it.
And it'd be safe, right? I mean, God knows when people need money in Washington, they go after anything that's available. Is there a way of making sure it's not touched?
So the federal government already does this. They do this sort of system with the Federal Railroad Retirement System.
Right. Worked for them, yeah.
It works for them great. And for the thrift savings plan. So we took those same guardrails. We had Heritage Foundation help make them a little bit stronger. We had David Walker, the former comptroller of the U.S. currency, make it even stronger yet. We put them into law. And then we said, Congress, if you ever do anything which decreases the return on investment, you got to raise taxes to make up for it. We figure mandating Congress raise taxes will be a surefire way to keep Congress from messing with it.
What are your thoughts on Senator Cassidy? So with his bipartisan plan to basically keep Social Security running for many, many years, as it's supposed to run dry in maybe 9 years, maybe even less at this point, 8 years. So this is what he's been talking about for a while, and he keeps talking about this. I wish he would add something like increased benefits to his plan, and I think a lot more people would jump on board. But let me know your thoughts on that. All right, let's get into this. Social Security is changing under President Trump. Here's what retirees need to know. So we're going to go over 5 different categories here. As first one, cost savings. The SSA has identified over $1 billion in cost savings through common sense approaches in areas such as payroll, information technology, contract and grants, real property, printing, travel, and purchase card policies. That represents about 15% of estimated administrative expenses in fiscal 2025. So they cut down a bunch of costs there. Then also workforce reductions. So in February, the SSA reduced its staffing target to 50,000 workers, down from 57,000. The agency has made progress on right-sizing its headcount, processing 350 deferred resignations and 3,000 voluntary separations through April. Those efforts will eventually lead to cost savings, but spending will increase in the near term because deferred resignations and voluntary separations involve incentive payments. All right, number 3 here, overpayment recovery. This is the one that's happening really soon and probably the least popular. So the SSA increased the increased the overpayment recovery rate to 50%, up from 10% under the Biden administration. That means beneficiaries overpaid by Social Security will have half of benefits withheld until the balance is zero. The first overpayment notices were mailed in late April and garnishments begin in late July. The SSA estimates it will save about $700 million annually. Anyone who receives an overpayment notice can appeal the decision. So looks like late July is when we're going to start to see those overpayments start to take effect, which would affect your August check. Then we have fraud prevention. In April, the SSA introduced new fraud prevention technology that lets beneficiaries complete all claims by telephone. The agency previously planned to require identity proofing in person or through the online portal, but new anti-fraud capabilities will instead analyze patterns to identify anomalies within accounts, such that in-person identity proofing will only be required when irregularities are detected with phone claims. And then this one right here, customer service. In July, this month, the SSA gave an update on ongoing improvements to customer service. The new telecommunications platform introduced earlier this year has been rolled out to 70% of field offices, reducing the average speed to answer by 50% versus the annual average last year. Additionally, upgrades to My Social Security will ensure the online portal provides uninterrupted 24/7 access starting mid-July. So let me know, how has your experience been with contacting the SSA via telephone? Has it been long wait times compared to before? Has it been better customer service? Let me know your thoughts on that. I've heard some people say they've been on hold for 2 days, waiting and waiting. But I don't know. What's your experience with that? Hopefully July gets a little better. But anyways, that is all the news that I have for today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is a tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing when you feel sad, you have to do something that you really want to make you feel better or make you feel true. Or you can also, if you help somebody, then you'll feel even better or something. Or if something's really into you and you're really feeling good, you should do that as well. Bye, this is Bella. This was the tip of the day.
If you haven't seen the latest Social Security update that you need to know about, you're going to want to click this video over here. It'll give you all the details in that video. So click that video now and I'll see you in that video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.